We had a routine. Every night, no matter the time zone, we FaceTimed. He'd grin into the screen, that easy smile I once thought could anchor me anywhere. And I'd laugh softly, exhaustion dripping from my voice after long hours. It was ritual. Practiced in comforting, the thin string that stretched across continents and made the miles between us feel smaller. For months, it was enough to trick me into believing distance didn't matter. That loyalty could be maintained pixel by pixel, but one night, everything shifted. He shifted. It was small, almost nothing at all. He adjusted in bed, his body moving. Off-screen for only a moment. The phone tilted slightly in his hand. Just for a second, just enough. That's when I saw it. On my side of the bed, glowing faintly under the soft lamplight, a pink phone. Not mine. Not even close. I didn't gasp. I didn't demand an explanation. My smile didn't falter. I ended the call with the same calm voice I'd used every other night. But the moment the screen went black, I booked a flight home. Silence, I decided, would be my weapon. When we first met, I thought he was steady, ground solid, reliable, someone. Who could anchor me in a world that had always felt too unstable? He'd called me his compass, said that no matter where he was, I kept him pointed north. Maybe because I was tired of doubting love, tired of questioning whether anyone could truly be trusted. Maybe because I wanted so badly to believe that love could be more than games and shadows. So I gave him my trust, blindly, fully, recklessly, and blind trust corrodes. The cracks had already begun to show long before the pink phone appeared in my bed. I had seen the way he left his own phone face down every single time, as though it were a reflex. I had noticed his sudden commitment to the gym at odd hours, the faint traces of perfume on his shirts that did not belong to me. Little things, tiny cuts that I catalogued silently, each one sliding into a growing pile of unspoken evidence. But I stayed quiet, convincing myself I needed more than suspicion. I needed proof I could hold in my hands. And there it was. That pink phone, glowing like a flare in the dark. By the time my plane landed, the decision was already carved into me. I drove straight from the airport, the city still half asleep, dawn not yet breaking. My heart was not racing. It beat slow and steady like a drum guiding me into battle. The house looked the same as always from the outside, familiar, deceptively still. But stepping inside, I felt the air shift. It smelled different, warmer, heavy with a perfume I didn't recognize. Foreign music floated faintly from upstairs. And then laughter, her laughter. Bright, careless, like an arrow piercing through the silence. I pulled out my phone and hit record. My hands did not shake. My breathing didn't falter. I wasn't frantic, wasn't even angry. I was deliberate, calm, precise, documenting each step, each creak of the floorboards as I climbed the staircase. Evidence building in my pocket. The door wasn't even locked. I pushed it open, and the scene froze like a photograph burned into my memory. Him shirtless. Tangled in the sheets that I had chosen, sheets that still smelled faintly of me. On the nightstand, the pink phone buzzed with an unread notification. They stared at me like deer in headlights. Wide eyes, pale faces, waiting for me to scream, to collapse, to beg, but I didn't. I raised my phone, the red recording light blinking. Like judgment in the dark, my voice was soft, almost tender. Smile. And then I walked out. I didn't need to fight. I didn't need to stay. The footage was enough. Downstairs, the house felt alien, like someone else's place. I sat at the kitchen table where we used to drink morning coffee together, where we once planned vacations and laughed about nothing at all. I opened my laptop, connected to the Wi-Fi, and drafted an email. .com, efficient. I attached the video. I sent it to myself, to my lawyer, most importantly to his company's HR department. He had signed the morality clause when they promoted him. Affairs with subordinates weren't just frowned upon, they were fireable offenses. And she wasn't. Just some random woman. She was beneath him on the corporate ladder. The footage was more than betrayal. It was career suicide. But I wasn't finished. Not even close. I logged into our joint bank account. With methodical precision, I transferred half the funds to my account, cleanly, legally documented. I called the credit card company. His cards canceled within minutes. Then I logged into the mortgage account, resetting passwords, locking down every shared system we had built together. With every click, every confirmation email, felt the leash tightened out around me, but around him. By the time I was done, by the time he stumbled downstairs in a rush, fumbling excuses, the leash had already snapped. He found me at the door, barefoot, desperation in his eyes. "It's not what you think," he blurted, voice cracking under the weight of panic. I laughed once. Cold, sharp, humorless. "It's exactly what I think." He reached for me, hands shaking, his face a mask of pleading. But I stepped back, my voice steady as stone. "Everything you've built is gone," I told him. "The job, the house, the comfort you thought was permanent. And her." I tilted my head toward the stairs. "She's not staying when the fallout hits."
Ayo.
See. I left him there, standing barefoot on the porch, the morning sun rising behind me, exposing everything he had tried to hide in shadows. The HR email came 2 days later. Termination, effective immediately. His name scrubbed from the company website. Within hours, the divorce lawyer worked quickly, assembling the pieces I had already laid out: the video, the financial transfers, the trail of infidelity. The settlement leaned entirely in my favor. The house became mine. His reputation collapsed into ash. And the woman? She disappeared from his life within a week, leaving him jobless, homeless, alone. Sometimes, I replay that FaceTime call in my mind, the smile he gave me, the smile I returned, the silent knowledge that sat between us, waiting to ignite. He thought I would break. He thought I would beg.
Ow!
Instead, I dismantled his life with the same calm precision he mistook for weakness. Now, when I wake in that bed, the same bed he stained with betrayal, I no longer see the pink phone. I see victory, see freedom, because in those quiet, brutal days, I learned something vital. Revenge isn't rage. It isn't fire or fury. It's patience. It's timing. It's the moment you turn betrayal into proof and silence into power. When I closed the door that morning, I wasn't leaving my husband. I was leaving my shadow. I didn't lose him. He lost me. The morning after the email went out, I brewed coffee in silence. The kitchen felt lighter already, as if some invisible weight had been lifted. My phone buzzed over and over, vibrating against the table like a trapped insect calls from him. From numbers I didn't recognize, from messages I didn't care to open. I ignored them all. The world was already moving against him. By noon, one of his coworkers reached out. They didn't know I was the one who had sent the evidence. They only knew that something had detonated. Whispers spread quickly in corporate offices. Screenshots circulated faster than wildfire. His name was trending on internal message boards before HR even made the official announcement. That evening, I stood at the window, watching the street as if expecting him to appear, and he did. He looked smaller. His shoulders slumped forward. His hair messy, his eyes wild with desperation. He knocked once, twice, then harder. His fist striking the door as though he could pound his way back into my life. I didn't open. Instead, I leaned against the wall, arms folded, and listened. "Please." His voice cracked through the wood. "Just talk to me. You don't understand." But I did understand. Perfectly. I understood the pink phone, the perfume, the excuses. I understood the late nights that weren't late nights at all. I understood every lie, every shadow, every betrayal. And I understood something else too. Once you see clearly, you can never go back to blindness. He shouted for nearly an hour before the knocking stopped. Eventually, I heard his footsteps retreat, heavy and uneven, like a man carrying the weight of his own ruin. The divorce unfolded like a chess game, but one I had already won before the first move. My lawyer was efficient, ruthless in a way I had never been able to bring myself to be. The evidence spoke louder than any testimony ever could. The video, the financial records, the contracts he had signed, it was all lined up. It's irrefutable, devastating. In court, he tried to meet my eyes. I didn't let him. His lawyer argued for mercy. Mine argued for truth. The judge sided with me. The house, the savings, even the car all shifted into my possession. He was left with little more than the clothes he wore into the courtroom. And still, he had the audacity to glare at me as though I were the one who had destroyed him. But I hadn't. I had only revealed what was already there. The woman, the one with the pink phone. The laugh that had haunted my memory was gone within. Daisy, she wasn't built for wreckage. She had chased him when he had power, when his career promised her luxury. But stripped of all that, he was no longer her prize. She left quietly, without ceremony, without loyalty. He was truly alone, and I was free. Freedom didn't come in. A thunderclap came in small moments, quiet and steady, like dawn bleeding into the sky. The first morning, I woke up alone in that bed. I stared at the ceiling, listening to the silence. At first, it felt eerie, too still, too empty. But then I realized it wasn't emptiness at all. It was space. My space. I made coffee and drank it slowly, savoring the taste without rushing, without waiting for his footsteps to descend the stairs. I walked through.